I was in my 11th plus year in 1961, and as general elections issues took center stage and dominated the village conversation, education became a major subject and common entrance became a household phrase. By that time, my grandparents had already put Rita into Harmon High School of the Seventh-day Adventists in Scarborough and was struggling to pay the quarterly school fees. Even at that age, I would frequently be required to assist my grandmother with catching about a dozen of our best yard fowls, tying them up, putting them on a wooden tray, placing it on my head, and setting off along the road to offer the fowls for sale to raise cash to pay school fees. It was against this background of intimate knowledge of the anxieties, stresses, and strains of providing a secondary education to a child that my grandparents absorbed the promise of free secondary education offered as a fundamental pillar of P&M policy. My grandfather, in addition to intently following radio broadcasts of the proceedings of the Legislative Council, attended a couple of the election meetings in Mason Hall and Scarborough in 1961. And upon his return, my grandmother would question him about who were there, who spoke, and what was said. On one occasion, in answer to her inquiry about what Dr. Eric Williams talked about, my grandfather replied, "He talked about the boy." It took me a long time to fully understand what he meant, but I knew they all voted P&M in 1961, and A.N.R. Robinson, who contested a parliamentary election once again, had come away with a handsome victory to the consternation of APT Fargo James, whom he defeated. To the shock of everyone, the long-serving Fargo passed away soon after the general election of 1961, and I entered Bishop's High School in January 1962 as a student of common entrance to receive free secondary education. But it could have turned out so differently. There was tremendous academic competition in primary school, and I always placed first or second in tests. I had to sit the common entrance exam in 1961 to enter secondary school in January 1962. Our headmaster, Beardy, had told us that we all had to write this new common entrance exam, but that Mason Hall students had to go to Bishop's High School in Mount Mary, Scarborough to write it. Before the exam, they selected students to put into a special class taught by Mr. Winchester of Bell Garden to prepare for this examination. I was selected, and all selected students had to be registered by a school supervisor who came in from Trinidad. During vacation time, it was rainy season I think, I came down with a terrible chest cold. It was rattling on my chest, and it was so bad I couldn't attend school. I was 11 years old then, and our neighbor Wilfred Jack, who was from Lekoto, had friends in Plymouth who made shark oil. He journeyed there to obtain some, and I was fed unrefined shark oil with lemon juice from the rough lemon tree. It wasn't pleasant, but 3 weeks later, I was able to return to school. As a result of having missed these weeks, the teachers retained me in the Standard 4 class. Mr. Baird, the jovial, avuncular, diligent, consummate headmaster that he was, came into my class on one of his daily rounds and saw me there. At once he realized that I would not have been registered for the common entrance exam, and in those days, students had one chance